don't know what your 2019 New Year's resolution was, but if you're not there yet and you're watching this, just try again next year. You know when the best of lists start coming out, you've run out of time. Thanks for checking in with us here at The Fumble. I'm your host, Jackie Ray. Make sure you follow me on all things social media at JRayTheFanatic, and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And right now, we are going to get into some of the biggest headlines of 2019 in sports. Now keep in mind, I said some of. No mad typing when I don't put your favorite on the list. And no, this is not going to be in any kind of chronological order. In fact, it's in no particular order at all. But the first thing that popped into my head when thinking of some of the biggest sports headlines was an image that I would really rather get out of my head. Robert Kraft was issued an arrest warrant for his involvement in a prostitution ring. First of all, Robert Kraft is 78 years old, okay? That in and of itself is just gotta give the man a pass. But they wanted to release pictures of the crime. Let that sink in for a second. They wanted us to see what was going on in that parlor. Who wants to see a 78-year-old man and what he's doing on his free time? He's 78. If this is what this man wants to do, let him do it. Luckily for us, they swept it under the rug because never in my life have I wanted someone to get away with a crime so bad. If him being tried for this crime meant we had to see it, no. It's not worth it. He might not have had the pull or the cash that Robert Kraft does to absolve him of this latest brawl. But one, he asked for a blow to Mason Rudolph, and we almost forgot that earlier in the year, Myles Garrett was in the running for Homie of the Year. Remember when he saved Darius Geis from falling for Mia Khalifa's thirst trap? Y'all had all the love in the world for him then, as you should have. When Mia Khalifa, who by the way is an adult film star, decided it was time to go fishing in the Washington waters with this tweet that said, "Life is good." To which Darius Geis responded, "Same." And I bet my last dollar he would have been caught up if Myles Garrett didn't come in with a Twitter version of a TSA save, and his tweet was a GIF that simply said, "It's a trap." We all thought that was a great save. One Twitter user said, "Now that's a good wingman. I salute you, sir." And Washington fans seem to appreciate the effort as well, saying they have been telling him the same since last year. But there was no saving Mason Rudolph when he tried to take Myles Garrett's helmet off, kick him, and grab him in his happy place. All that forced Myles to thrash Mason with his own helmet. Most of you were not having that, and neither was the league. Myles Garrett was suspended indefinitely for the incident, but I, for one, hope we see him on the field again. Come on, guys. This was the definition of don't start none, won't be none. It was just played out on the field. Clearly, Mason needed to learn that lesson, and the lesson was learned, right? So, Myles, hopefully, I'll see you next season. The NFL just isn't the same these days. Some of that is because of the political climate, and some of it is because we know the end is near for the great Tom Brady. Love him or hate him, the man is great for football. But what was even greater is having Tom Terrific and Rob Gronkowski on the field together. But Grunk gave us one pretty hilarious moment this year. After announcing his retirement, we all wondered if it was just temporary. When a reporter asked if there was any chance he would come back to the league, he responded with, "You guys know my favorite number. You know what I'm talking about. She knows what number I'm talking about." Fun fact, no one in the room knew what he was talking about. He then points at a female reporter and says, "Ask her." That's the answer. She didn't know, but he didn't let it go. Gronk had to explain by saying, "I'll give you a math problem. What's 6 times 9 plus 6 plus 9? For those of you who are actually trying to figure this out, just stop. It's 69. A lot of you were in complete panic about this, and I found it hilarious, especially since mathematically speaking, he was saying that there was a 69% chance he would come back. He lied! Or did he? When speaking to ESPN reporters, he said, quote, "I still stay fit, still watch the game whenever I can, still enjoy it, I'm feeling good, but you know, 1 year off could possibly be the case. It's always an option in the back of my head." Well, you know, stranger things have happened. Jason Witten is 37 and slow, and he's doing just fine. By this time next year, Gronk will be 31, so it's possible he could come back. His decision probably has a lot to do with whether Belichick and Brady are still calling New England home, but We'll see. One can hope. The NBA Finals were a historic one for the Raptors. It was their first appearance, and everyone wanted to know where Kawhi was going after. But first, he had to win the title. With Toronto leading the series 3-2, Kevin Durant came in with the hopes that he could help the Warriors tie the series. That hope died 12 minutes later. This ACL tear will put him out for the rest of the series and next season. Then it became, where's KD gonna go? And for a while, even our very own Chris Clark had me convinced that he was going to the Knicks. I don't know why I believe that, because it was not so. He and Kyrie Irving went to the Nets. That is a good thing, because now the Nets have a solid team in place for the 2020-2021 season, and I'm hoping Kyrie can lead the Nets into a deep playoff run this year so he can finally feel like the man that he wants to be. But again, we'll see. One of the things I've learned this season is who's ever making most of these lists that salute the greatest of all time or even current great, they probably aren't even old enough to drink because they are missing the mark. And the All-NBA team is no exception. Remember when they snubbed Klay? He was not at all happy about that.
But you barely, Kemba got it. You were a couple.
I mean, that's cool and all, but like, when you go to 5 straight finals, I respect those guys, but when you go to 5 straight, I mean, it takes more than just a couple of NBA guys. It's like an all-time team, but whatever. That's not. I'd rather win a championship than be 13 All-NBA. So it's all good.
Honestly, that really makes no sense to me, especially now that we see Steph wasn't really able to hold it down on his own. Klay is an asset, and people need to stop underestimating him. And as much as I knew it wasn't going to happen, I was not happy at all when James Harden lost the MVP race to Giannis. Honestly, when I saw that headline, I was so disappointed. Not because I don't like Giannis. I actually do love Giannis. And I think he has a real shot at becoming a great player. He just doesn't have a real shot right now. And it's not because I like James Harden, because honestly, I don't. But the man was making history. Harden passed Kobe, who had 16 games scoring 30+ points. Not by just a few, by 16. Harden had 32 consecutive 30-point games this season. He finished the season with 36.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 7.5 assists. Giannis did have a phenomenal season as well. He averaged 27.7 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists. But this is just basic math, people. Harden was the clear winner for me. No popularity votes this season, okay? Let's just make it about the math, which brings me to my next resolution. If I am still feeling some type of way about this, clearly I need to learn to let things go in 2020. Took the first step when I stopped shading Lonzo Ball so much. And in truth, that only happened because he was shipped to New Orleans. But you know, whatever, don't judge me. It's been a long process. I started here at the Fumble in December, and I'm close to my 1-year anniversary, so yay for me. But those first few months were a little rough because you guys love all the antics that come from the Ball family. But I guess what I've come to realize is no, I don't think Lonzo is that good now. But I think he can be. And I think for me, my disdain was because LeVar Ball just would not shut up. But even that has calmed down. So now I can appreciate really what are you doing moments like when Lance Stevenson and Lonzo Ball teamed up in the studio for a song called Swerve.
Asking all them questions while you pressing with aggression. I ain't stressing who you texting, stop flexing, I'm Swerve.
If I'm being honest, I actually like that song a lot. And I was all about Lonzo in the gym working out to his own music as well.
How you steady grinding with these on at your feet? Cause I'm headed to the top and they ain't catching it. Come on, man, I do this.
One of my favorite things about Lonzo Ball is his demeanor. He takes things as they come and he just wants to play basketball. And he always puts his daughter first. But I can't forget about Daddy Ball and his delusions of grandeur, so take your sunglasses off, people, because here comes the shade. Now here's the thing, I personally throw a lot of shade at LeVar Ball, but if I'm being honest, I really wanted him to succeed in everything he's doing. And I think he could have if he would have shut up and gotten out of his own way and listened to some better business advice. But for the love he clearly has for his wife and the fact that he has raised 3 sons who will all have some level of NBA success, the man is doing all right for himself and his family. I just wish he was more likable. But for my first 2020 resolution, I vowed to end any and all LeVar Ball bashing. LeVar, please do not make me regret that. Now, when it comes to basketball, you all know that I think LeBron James is the GOAT who walks on water. That will never change, ever. But some of you went so far as to call King James a sellout for these comments.
We all talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself. So I don't believe, I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke, and so many people could have been harmed, not only financially but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do. Even though yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
You guys can start the eye rolling now, because I think given who he is and all he has done for the community, calling LeBron James a sellout is blasphemous. The truth is, this whole situation caused problems for the NBA. This is not the NFL we're talking about that tries everything in their power to trivialize the beliefs of their players. This is the NBA that has made exceptions to rules and given national platforms to their players just so they can bring attention to social injustices. LeBron simply did not want to damage the organization that has given him that platform. I get what you guys are saying though. If someone is going to stand against injustice, that should happen at all times. I do get that. But I have always been an advocate of take care of your house before you worry about the house down the street. And to some extent, I think LeBron feels the same way. He responded to the backlash with a tweet that read, "Let me clear up the confusion. I do not believe there was any consideration for the consequences and ramifications of the tweet. I'm not discussing the substance. Others can talk about that." That seems fair. If you want to talk about something that is not basketball about LeBron James, talk about his I Promise school that was opened in April of 2019. Talk about his ventures in media like Uninterrupted or Spring Hill Entertainment. Talk about Bronny and how there is a very slight chance we will see the father-son duo play together one day. Talk about how his moves to bring AD to the Lakers, which also played a part in sending Kawhi and Paul George to the Clippers, has created a wide open Western Conference. These are good times we live in, people, and we owe it all to King James. But before Bronny can make it to the league, we have to talk about another young superstar who's not really a star yet, and to be honest, most wonder if he ever will be a star if he can't get his weight under control. Ladies and gentlemen, my second favorite basketball highlight, Zion Williamson. He gave us an entire year of highlights, not just from his dunks, but also an exploding shoe, deflating a ball with his bare hands, his facial expression when he faced the possibility of going to the Knicks, and finally being drafted. The Pelicans were getting a new look. Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball were sent to join Zion. But by the time the regular season hit, Zion was out with a knee injury. It's likely a season ender because even after he rehabs, he will have to consider his weight. Rough start, but it can only get better from here. Then, to cap off 2019, the NFL offers a random workout to Colin Kaepernick. The entire fiasco is completely bizarre. It included the NFL denying media, changing the waiver at the 11th hour, Cap moving the workout to an alternate location with media allowed, but no questions allowed. The NFL followed up with a statement that says Cap didn't show up, which was not true, and Stephen A goes on a rant to remind black people that he is a black man. What in the entire F? You can't make this stuff up, people, and that isn't even half of the craziness of 2019. Don't forget, Sam Darnold says the Jets still have a shot at the playoffs, which means anything is possible or truly impossible if you're a Jets fan. Fumble fam, let me know what you're looking forward to. What are your favorite sports highlights of 2019? And what are your resolutions? Happy holidays, guys, and thank you so much for checking in with us here at The Fumble. Once again, I'm Jackie Ray, and we'll see you next time.